I feel very honored and also proud today to have the opportunity to present to you our 5th inductee of this 11th annual induction ceremony. He won't believe me because when you see this, you'll know what I'm talking about. I talked to Coach Johnson yesterday and saw some of his family down there. So I was trying to spot where they were today, and I started looking around. Now, he's like tall. I don't know whether he's 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", something like that, but he's tall. I used to be 5'8". At 76, I shrunk down to like 5'6" and a half now. So everybody looks tall to me these days. But believe it or not, I didn't spot Coach Johnson first. I know where he is now. Guess who I spotted first? Piercia. Piercia, would you stand up for just a minute? Look at Piercia. She's standing up. No, she's not sitting down. See, Piercia? I spotted her first, and then I saw the rest of the family out there, so I know where you are. But back there in that group is a gentleman who is certainly most deserving of the recognition he's to receive today. This is Coach Willie Johnson, a 32-year coaching veteran who served as a head track coach and a head cross-country coach for 26 of those 32 total years, finishing his career at Crim High School in Atlanta. He also served as a head coach for 7 years at Bass High School, for 2 years at Murphy High School, before finishing with 17 more years at Crim. For those of you that don't know, not as old as I am, I guess you don't have to be as old as I am, just as old as Coach Johnson. But Murphy High School was actually closed and renamed Crim High School in 1988 during the time Coach Johnson was there. But I remember Murphy High School, Coach, from back in the 40s. I was in school in the 40s in high school, and so I remember Murphy had a great tradition too, but they're now called Crim High School. He preceded those 26 head coaching years with 6 years as an assistant coach at Bass High School. They have a great tradition also. At Bass High School, he worked under another legendary coach, Lawrence Graves, who is also a member of our GACA Hall of Fame. Now, I've known Lawrence for 63 years. He started a high school at O'Keefe, Coach, when I started a high school at North Fulton. He was a half-miler at O'Keefe for 5 years. Counting 8th grade, we started at the same time in the 40s and we finished in the early 50s. And I was a pole vaulter and javelin thrower. So I know Lawrence real well, and I know that he was your mentor. And you haven't told me that, but I just know, knowing Lawrence, that he was the guy that put you on the right track. And you told me yesterday that he couldn't be here today. And I had somebody else tell me just recently that Lawrence is having some physical problems down in Florida now, where he lives. And I want to tell you that I know that if he could possibly have been here, he would be here for this thing. And I know he's going to be interested in hearing you call him when this thing is over. And would you please tell him hello for me? He calls me about once every 2 or 3 years, and we talk, but I haven't heard from him lately. So when you give him a ring, tell him hello for me. Before we tell you the coaching records that have put Coach Johnson here today, I always think it's nice to know just a little personal background. Coach Johnson was born in 1948 in Warrenton, Georgia, to his parents, Bill and Bessie Johnson. And I heard yesterday from, I think, one of the aunts back there that they both passed away, but I know they'd be proud of you. He doesn't know this, Coach Johnson doesn't know this, but his birthday was only 9 days before my birthday, which was also in the month of April. But the problem for me is not the month of birth, but with the year of birth. Now, let me tell you, Coach Johnson was born like on April the 11th. I didn't know this till I saw his resume. And I was born 9 days later, on April the 20th. And the only person I know of any significance that was born on my birthday, I discovered about 30 years ago, is Adolf Hitler. And that's kind of embarrassing. And then about 10 years ago, I was reading the newspaper, and I live up in Jefferson, Georgia. I discovered another person that was born on my birthday, April the 20th. And it's Steve Spurrier. And if you live up in Jefferson, you're real close to Athens. And so there's two hated people that were born on my birthday. And I've been in Jefferson for 47 years, so it's like, whoa. I don't tell everybody that, but now everybody will know. But I was born in 1935, and so there's Coach Johnson back there, born just 9 days earlier than me, but in 1948. So there he is. And stand up quickly, because he's a spry. Stand up quickly, Coach Johnson. I know we're going to get you to stand up later. But yeah, he's tall, see. Taller than his daughter back there. But I look at him, and he's a spry 63-year-old, a healthy, spry 63-year-old. And he knows that I'm an old, doddering 76-year-old. But it was good to see him. I hadn't seen him in several years. He attended Warrenton High School, where he played basketball, and then finished college, all of his college work at Fort Valley State University, where he competed in both track and cross country. I've always felt that, especially in the coaching profession, when a man becomes what a man does become as a person, and whatever he achieves in his career usually has a lot to do with his family and their support. So I know y'all are going to stand up later, but the ones I met yesterday, his immediate family, I want them to stand up, all of them, and you'll see Coach Johnson, his wife Sharon. Y'all stand up now. And if the boys are here, there's 3 boys, Travis, Pierce, and Isaac, ranging in age from their mid-20s to their mid-30s, I believe. I don't know whether they're all here, but that's what I saw in the resume. And then I saw a 4th child, and it was Pierce here. And so we've got the middle boy was named Pierce, and the youngest girl, look at those men back there, and all of a sudden there's Pierce here. And listen, Pierce here, that's her name, and the middle boy was named Pierce. And I said, that's strange. And then I looked back at Coach Johnson's resume, and it's Willie Pierce Johnson. So that's kind of neat, especially with the difference in those ages. Y'all finally had a daughter, so proud of you. Y'all sit down. Coach Johnson may not be aware of this, but if I counted right, out of all the many, many thousands of different coaches from all of the many different sports in the long, long history of Georgia high school athletics, there were only 58 coaches who were members of the GAC Hall of Fame prior to this ceremony today. Only 58 out of all of those thousands. So, Coach, that puts you in some very elite company already. But even more interesting, only seven of those 58 coaches have been selected primarily in the sport of track and or cross country. So that ought to make you feel even better, to be one of only 8 coaches in that category out of the many thousands that have come ahead of you. But if you listen to these statistics, you will know why Coach Johnson is up here today. In both girls track and also boys and girls cross country, Coach Johnson had a 1-loss record of 241 victories and only 15 losses. That's in a 26-year head coaching career. That's a remarkable winning percentage, an amazing winning percentage of 94% over that whole 26-year head coaching period. During those 26 head coaching years, he had a total of 40 region championships, and 14 times his teams finished as either state champions or state runner-ups. And he came out with an even split on those, with 7 Georgia State championship teams and 7 more Georgia State runner-up teams. He's also worked for many, many years in Atlanta and in Georgia in various official positions such as a region meet director, a region meet referee, serving on juries of appeal, as a head field judge, a course inspector, and so on and so on. And those positions included not only GHSA events, but also AAU and USA track and field competitions, which, as the family I know knows this, but some of you don't, those things like the AAU and the USA track and field, they sometimes involve year-round work, not just the school year, but year-round work, summertime too. Coach Johnson's very obvious coaching success, his longevity, and his long-time contributions to track and cross country, as well as to the student athletes in the city of Atlanta, are truly outstanding. Congratulations to Coach Willie Johnson. And if the family would stand up one more time as Coach Johnson steps up here, and anybody else that's here that's representing his following. Coach Johnson.